gang, welcome back to the garage. This episode, we're going to be restoring this little micrometer. It's from a Brown Sharpe manufacturing company, and the patent date on it looks like it puts it at 1927 or later, so safely a pre-World War II item. Never owned a micrometer, never used a micrometer. Not in my line of work. The closest I would come to needing a micrometer or a caliper of some sort would be in my cartridge reloading for pistol and rifle. But this guy I picked up a while ago at a flea market, and guy basically just gave it to me. I picked up a few other things, and it's rusted. The spindle does move, but the ratcheting knob at the end here is quite frozen in place. See if I get you in there. A lot of surface rust. The numbers are barely visible under the rust. Hopefully it's not going to be too pitted when we clean it up, that it's still visible. But first order of business, let's see if we can get this thing torn down. All right, let's back this spindle all the way up. See underneath. There we go. Marking still visible underneath. Really stiff in the movement. Looks like there's a lot of gunk down in here. Here we go. Pull that out of there. Okay. Now let's see. My guess is this is going to need a good soak in evaporust first before we try and tear anything more down with this. And the frame we're going to leave as is. I'm not going to take the anvil out off the end here. There's no reason to punch that out of there. But we can get this clip out of here. Oh good, here we go. All right, let's see if we can get this screw to budge. Oh, hey, here we go. That's fortunate. Okay. Yeah, that is not moving. Alright, we have just enough of evaporust left to soak this guy in overnight. In goes frame, thimble, locking ring, top it off. And we'll see you tomorrow morning. Hey gang, alright, we're back. It's the next day. It's been about a 24-hour soak in evaporust. Let's get these parts out of here and see what they look like. Not bad, not bad. Let's get them rinsed off. Yeah, this spindle is what I'm curious about. Looks like a lot of that rust is gone. Not all of it. Hopefully this will turn now. There's the lock. And the screw. All right, let me go get these parts rinsed off and we'll see about doing some steel wool on them. Okay, so we're out of the evaporust and the frame, the metal looks fantastic. All the pitting, the deep pitting that I was afraid would be there is not. So this is going to clean up. This should clean up really nice. There's a little bit of pitting around the edges, but nothing that's going to affect how the micrometer works. So let's get some WD-40 and a pad on this. The spindle, on the other hand, while all the rust did come off, little adjustment knob is still not turning. So we're going to hit that with some Croil and let that soak for a minute. Alright, so I'm going to take some WD-40 and this red Scotch-Brite pad and do a little bit of polishing on the frame. I always like to start with the softest, the least intrusive method of cleaning. Don't go right to the wire wheel when possibly just a 4/0 steel wool or a Scotch-Brite pad would do the trick. A lot of folks think they need to go right to sandpaper, start sanding away rust, or hit it with a wire wheel, when in reality just a soak in some evaporust and a little rub down with the Scotch-Brite pad is all it needs. Let's see what we got. Look at that already. All right. There you go. Not bad. Here's the other side. Haven't done that yet. And first pass with some WD-40 and Scotch-Brite. I'd say that's a win. All right, so I'm going to get the rest of this cleaned up with the Scotch-Brite pad, and I'll bring you back. Okay, so after the Scotch-Brite pad and WD-40, the micrometer frame is looking pretty good. A little bit of, you see a little bit of surface pitting on there. More so on this side. It's not going to affect the operation, but I am tempted, definitely some polishing on the buffing wheel, but maybe some really light sandpaper. Maybe start with 400 grit, see if that helps. What has me concerned is up here, I'll bring you in and see it. Up here, these scratches. There's some pretty good scratches up here that I would like to to try and smooth out. Now I know the tolerances for the inside diameter, the tolerances for the micrometer. I don't want to mess with any sanding, but this outside part here, I think I can get away with some light sanding just to smooth those scratches out a little bit. So we'll start with a 400 grit and see what that gets us. WD-40. And again, always start with a high grit sandpaper. If you're not getting the results that you're looking for, you can go ahead. You always have the option to move down. But if you start with a really low grit sandpaper, can't put material back that you take off. That's the thing with sanding. You are, no matter what grit you're using, you are removing material. We'll keep on. Okay, so I'm back after doing some sanding off the sanding of the scratches, and for the most part, happy with the way this has come out. We're going to hit it with a some light buffing compound and bring out the shine in it, but I think for the most part, it's pretty much good to go. One thing I did find, the inside here, we got to get cleaned out. And it just so happens that a 22 caliber nylon bore brush fits perfectly inside for cleaning. Try not to use copper or any harder material on the bore brush, but the nylon does clean it out pretty well. So there we go, inside and out. Next up, some polishing, and we'll circle back and see how the coil is doing on the spindle. This top piece should turn get you in there focused. Come on, there we go. Oh, there we go. Yeah, look at the rust in there. See the teeth, little gears grabbing. All right, now we got some more de-rusting to do. And there's always a little spring involved. Tiny spring. And more gunk to clean out. Okay. Great. Progress. All right, gang. So we're back again, and we got the thimble and the ratcheting tension knob out of the evaporust. And now it's time to give it a little cleaning. The graduation marks on the thimble still visible. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot of pitting going on. So what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can tape it off and put it into the drill chuck, and we'll do some steel wool on it. See how it comes out. Okay, so we got the thimble chucked up into the drill. Definitely got it wrapped in tape to protect it. Now we're going to put some WD-40 on the Scotch-Brite pad and polish this thing up. Not bad for first pass. We'll keep at it and we'll bring you back and show you what we end up with. Got the outside of the thimble cleaned up rather well. Graduations are still visible. This way. There we go. And I taped off this side. I got to work on the inside part. Now these pieces are machined to pretty high tolerance, pretty tight tolerances. So this going through the frame, I don't want to take any material off of here. So we're just going to use some 4/0 steel wool and clean this piece up. Pretty much all polished up, cleaned up. We're going to do a little bit of flitz and put our final touches on the polishing and then get this whole thing back together. So let's get the Dremel going. Flitz is great. Discovered it a couple years ago, but it's a really nice polish for any kind of metal. It works great on plastics, or if you've got some Bakelite that you're looking to polish on. Flitz has been my go-to for that. Clean microfiber towel. There we go. A little bit more, and I think we'll be ready to go. Let me get you in for a look on this. Alright gang, my favorite part, reassembly. Let's get to it. First the locking ring. Tensioner. Now we'll take some pretty fine oil. Much smoother now. Brown Sharpe 0 to 1/2 inch micrometer. Now, first thing we want to do is make sure that the surfaces are clean. So all we need is a piece of paper for that. So what you want to do, open the micrometer up slightly, slide the piece of paper through, and just snug it up a bit. Pull the paper out, and there you'll see now your anvil and the other edge has been wiped clean. Now, as we'll have a disclaimer, beyond the scope of this video is adjusting the micrometer. There is a hole, there's a spanner wrench. Where's that hole at? Right there. There's a spanner wrench that you can use to adjust the micrometer if it's not reading true zero once the pieces are touching. And right now you can see, tightened all the way. The zero line is slightly past the line on the frame. Actually, it's 1/1000th past the line. So this micrometer needs adjusted 1/1000th of an inch. And that spanner wrench up here would be used to turn and adjust the thimble until the zero line on the thimble matches the zero line on the frame. I do not have a micrometer spanner adjusting wrench right now, but I can get one. It would probably cost me triple what I paid for the actual micrometer. But for now, we are clean, restored, and ready to work, being 1/1000th of an inch off. That's the restoration of the vintage Brown Sharpe micrometer. Hope you enjoyed the video. All right, gang. Have a good one. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the garage on the next restoration.